Welcome to a delicious take of the evening. I'm your teacher, Dylan, and today's lesson class is why Man of Steel is actually a good movie. Superman is a character most deemed dull and boring, and I, for one, used to think exactly that way. But I got older, I got more mature, I realized that Superman is actually a great character, and Man of Steel does it really well. I wanted to deep dive into something that seemed to actually have passion behind it. Now, is this movie perfect? No. It's got its superhero tropes and some cringeworthy dialogue.
Here, it's a mess.
But at least it has heart.
That character means a lot to me, and the character's been a formative part of my career. So getting to wear the suit again was a powerful moment. It meant that the hope was not in vain.
In my eyes, Henry Cavill is the perfect Superman. I don't think a casting is better than him, other than RDJ as Iron Man or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I mean, the guy looks straight out of the comics. Look at his jaw. You can't tell me that he's not Superman. I find Clark evolves throughout this film quite gracefully, embracing his alien roots, but also realizing his privilege to help the human race, the people who took care of him as a child, but also the people who bullied him as a kid. He has the power to wipe out the human race with a single flyby. I'm looking at you, Omni-Man, but he chooses to help us instead. Henry has a certain charm to him that bleeds into Clark, and you can definitely see it throughout his performance. You can see he battles internally with the choices he has to make.
If there's a chance I can save Earth by turning myself in, shouldn't I take it?
You can feel the way he carries, having to choose to save people over and over again, and every time he wears that symbol across his chest, he chooses to fight for humanity. He chooses to go out and risk himself just because he knows it's the right thing to do. From what I've learned over the years, from the countless press interviews I've seen of Henry Cavill, dude's a big nerd. He loves comic books and Superman just as much as the people who go to see his movies do.
Apparently on set, you know more than anyone else.
I wouldn't necessarily say anyone else, but I'm a big fan.
Yes.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
And I think this brings a special interaction between the audience and the character because it means that these people, both watching and working on the movie, have the same passion for that character.
I think everyone has sort of their own personal relationship with Superman, honestly. You know, he's transcendent of comic book world. He is a pop culture icon as well. You don't need to walk into a comic book store to, like, you know, show someone the S and go like, hey, who's that?
Zack Snyder had the unimaginable task of turning Superman into a character built for not only mainstream audiences, but also having to make him likable enough to build a universe surrounding him. Although his future installments have their controversies, Zack did a pretty good job with this movie. I mean, you can definitely tell it's his style. Long drawn-out fight scenes, intimate character moments, and fantastic cinematography all shine through during my rewatch of this movie. I think some of my favorite moments were the fight scenes. The punches feel like absolute bombs going off, and as a viewer, you can definitely tell that it could shatter a 5-story building. The action scenes feel so different compared to other stuff we've seen throughout the years. They pack so much weight. It feels like gods duking it out in the sky, and the destruction they cause offers another look at just how inadequate humans are compared to these behemoths in the sky due to Zack's camera work. I like how Zack got to show off in this movie. There's no studio interference, just his work on his passion project. The way he directs brings a sense of hope and inspiration, and that is especially prevalent in the music. Zack Snyder hiring Hans Zimmer is probably one of the best decisions he could have made for this movie because the Man of Steel score is absolutely phenomenal. Whenever Superman steps into the light or decides to fly for the first time, Zimmer's score blissfully touches your ears in a way that makes you appreciate the character you're watching. Dealing with such a big character like Superman is a pretty daunting task. I mean, there's so many stories to choose from, but what I think Zack did was the perfect blend of otherworldly action interlaced with small, intimate character moments. Martha even said it best in this interaction.
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small.
Yeah, this movie has a multi-million-dollar final battle scene of two super aliens beating the shit out of each other in super suits, but deep down this movie is about the evolution of an outsider finding himself amongst a sea of others as he grows up. And that is what I love so much about this film. Yes, the action is cool to look at. Yes, Henry Cavill is so cool to look at. I mean, God, look at that jawline, man. I just wish I had that shit. It's like, but what makes this movie hit in the feels is its ability to carry small, intimate moments between characters. Take any moment between Clark and Jor-El, or Clark and Jonathan Kent, or Clark and Lois. These moments are why we care so much about the big battle. We have seen how caring Martha is throughout the entire movie, and when she's threatened by Zod, you want Superman to beat the shit out of Zod because we want to do it ourselves if we could. I've noticed nowadays most final battle scenes struggle to keep me hooked in an emotional sense. Yeah, most battle scenes are great to look at and entertaining in that sense, but the ones where I'm captivated the most are the ones that have emotional attachment built in from earlier character interactions. I think a perfect example of one that did this right is Spider-Man 2's train scene. Train scene is so good, yes, because it has amazing special effects, but it also has a purpose. Peter needs to get MJ back, and he will do whatever it takes to do that because we have seen how much Peter loves MJ through his interactions with her at his birthday party, or when he tells her that he wants to be Spider-Man but he can't because then she would be in danger. Through these interactions, it makes the audience jump for joy when we see Peter go after Doc Ock because we want to get her back ourselves. See, simplifying these otherworldly stories and telling them through intimate human moments gives us a renewed sense of what it means to be super, because at the end of the day, these heroes were just thrust into power and they had to decide what they wanted to do with it, and they decided to use it for the greater good. And I think no other superhero does it so powerfully than the Man of Steel himself. Take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed this delicious take. Thanks for coming to class, everyone. Your Professor Dylan will be back with another video in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Alright, if you like this video, please drop it a like. Please drop a comment below. What are your thoughts on Man of Steel? Do you agree with me? Do you not? I'd like to hear you down below. Please subscribe, because I'm lonely and I'd like to have more people to talk to. So, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.